outside of a 4-year stint in Florida, I've lived in Northeast Ohio my entire life. Today, my wife and I choose to raise our family here, so this is not going to be your sales pitch or like a Chamber of Commerce spin. I'm going to tell you every reason why you shouldn't live here and why you probably shouldn't move here either. The real deal breakers, the things that people pack up after 2 winters and say, I'm not doing that again, and the same things that people wish they would have been warned about before they even moved here. Because here's the thing, as a local realtor, I'd rather talk you out of a move today than sell you a house I know you're going to regret because of where you're coming from. My name's Rich Ganim. I run the Ganim Group right here in Cleveland, Ohio, and this is going to be your brutally honest version of why you shouldn't live right here in Cleveland. So let's get into it. Now, real quick, why is a real estate agent telling you not to move here? Pretty simple. The people who love living here are the ones who came in with their eyes wide open. The people who leave are the ones that nobody warned, or they're leaving because they just want to go get a fresh scene. So consider this your warning, because the following 6 deal breakers are real. And if none of them scare you off, stay to the end, because I'm going to flip it around and tell you exactly who Northeast Ohio is for and where I'd start looking if I was considering moving here. Now, let's start with the one that nobody puts in the relocation guide about moving to Cleveland, and it's the sky. Cleveland averages about, and I say about, 166 days of sunshine a year. Guys, the national average is around 205. More than half of our days in Cleveland are cloudy, and most of that gray shows up in one really long stretch, November through March. And no, I'm not talking about thunderstorms. I'm literally talking about day after day, week after week, where the sun isn't seen. If you're moving from Florida, Arizona, Southern California, or maybe literally anywhere else in the country that's not Cleveland, this will be an adjustment that most people don't understand. There's something called seasonal depression, and a lot of people just don't adjust to it very well. So if you know that gray skies are going to get to you, take it seriously. It's the number one reason people decide to leave. The second is also weather related, and it's the winters themselves. Cleveland averages somewhere around 50 to 60 inches of snow a year. Last year we had 63, and it's nearly double the national average. And that's on the low end for the region. The east side of Northeast Ohio, the east side of Cleveland, is called the snow belt, and they get pummeled year after year after year. And like, these people just love the beatdown that Lake Erie gives them every winter. So real shoveling snow, real driving in the snow, rock salt to get the snow to melt, school delays, school closings, all while you're trying to scramble to get to the office early in the morning. Now, if you live in the south suburbs, there's this thing called the secondary snow belt. And yeah, that's real too, and it's just the way that the wind shifts off Lake Erie. So if you want the least amount of snow, go west. The most amount of snow, go east. And if you just want snow, stay south. And that matters because it's the first thing I talk about with families who are looking to call Northeast Ohio home. And nobody escapes Northeast Ohio winter when you choose to live here. If you're done with snow, you need to be honest with yourself. The third thing, taxes. Ohio looks like a low tax state on paper. And then if you buy a house in Cuyahoga County, you get all that it comes with. Our county in Cuyahoga carries the highest effective tax rate in the state of Ohio. And it's right around 2% of your home's value, which is a little bit above the national norm. So on a $400,000 home, depending on the community, it could mean upwards of $8,000 a year in property taxes. Oh wait, there's more. There's also a second layer most out-of-state buyers have never heard of, and it's called the municipal income tax, or RETA, which is the regional income tax, whatever A stands for, RETA. Nobody likes her, RETA. Most cities that participate in RETA take around 2 to 2.5% of that paycheck as well. So you live in one city, you work in another, and then the credit rules between them get complicated pretty fast. But if you live in one, you work in another, you're paying taxes in both. So here's my honest take there. You get real value for it. The schools and the services in the strong suburbs are legitimately excellent. And that's exactly what you're paying for. But if you're coming from a state with no local income tax, you're gonna want to run the math before you move here, not after. It's a real conversation that I have with every single buyer that's relocating into Cleveland because it's not always calculated. The fourth deal breaker I'm going to tell you is going to be your paycheck ceiling, and depending on the industry that you're in, the career ladder here isn't very tall. Average wages in the Cleveland metro area are going to run a bit under the national average. foliage. If you're in healthcare, manufacturing, logistics, law, or maybe a trade, you'll do particularly well here. And your dollar is going to go a lot further than it would on either of the coasts. The Cleveland Clinic and university hospitals alone anchor one of the strongest healthcare markets in the country. Both are nationally ranked. But if your career depends on a deep bench of tech companies, maybe major finance, the bench here is a little thin. The best case scenario that I see all the time, it's people that are coming here with a remote salary. So think like coastal paycheck of LA or New York with Northeast Ohio housing costs. Because honestly, that's one of the best lifestyle arbitrages that you can have here in America. So just make sure your income actually travels with you before you do. Now, the fifth deal breaker I'm gonna say is that we are not a boomtown. If you're buying a house here as a get-rich-quick bet, just don't. Cleveland's population has been basically flat for years. Now, it's ticked up slightly over the last couple of years, but listen, we are not Austin, Texas, we are not Nashville, Tennessee, and we are definitely not Tampa, Florida. You're not going to see Sunbelt-style 20% a year appreciation at all, like ever. What you're going to see instead is a steady, slow growth. Strong communities appreciate reliably. And I'm going to come back to this in a minute because flat growth has a flip side that most people completely miss. But if speculation is the goal, I'm going to save you the flight. Go look somewhere else. We're not for you. Now, the sixth deal breaker is we're not that kind of city. Our lifestyle, it's different. If your happy place is going to the beach in January, we are going to severely break your heart. Lake Erie summers are legitimately awesome, right? Living on Lake Erie is the best. You got the beaches if you want them. You can go boating if you want it. You can catch amazing sunsets. We have great golf, but it's seasonal. And the lake is not the ocean. Hate to break it to you. Lake Erie is not the ocean. And the same goes for the city itself. Cleveland is a phenomenal regional city. We have real art, real theater, world-class orchestra, phenomenal food, 3 sports teams. But listen, we are not New York, we're not Chicago, we're not LA, we're not even Tampa, again. And we don't pretend to be. So if you need that 24/7 like big city vibe right outside your door where you can jump on public transportation and feel that difference, you're not going to. Most people here consider that a huge benefit and a huge feature, but you need to decide if you have that bug of that big city life. So after all that, why do I live here? Why do we choose to raise our family here? And why have I spent the last 16 years helping people move here on purpose? That's a great question. Well, it's because every one of those deal breakers has a flip side. The money you'd burn on housing in most major metropolitan areas buys you a great house here, in a great school district here. And the flat population growth means you don't necessarily get priced out of your own neighborhood overnight. The winters are real, that is for sure. And there are 4 actual seasons. 4, sometimes 5 or 6, depending on how long that fake fall lasts. And if fall in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park is anywhere as good as it is in America, you're going to love it because the commute here is also about 20 minutes in really anywhere you want to go. You have National Park between the suburbs, phenomenal healthcare system right down the road, not a flight away. And you have a job market here that has real momentum lately. And this region is quietly on better footing than the national storyline gives it credit for. Truly. We were once the mistake on the lake. No, I don't think so. So if none of those things scared you off about Cleveland, we might be exactly right for you. And if you do make the move, personally, I'd look at the south suburbs. I'd look at Brecksville, Broadview Heights, Strongsville, North Royalton, and Richfield. I've made a full, honest pros and cons video of each one of those in a similar format as this with cons included. And we continue to make more for every city in Northeast Ohio. And they're all going to be linked below. But if you're weighing a decision on whether or not you should move to Northeast Ohio, and you want a straight answer about whether it actually fits your situation, your budget, your career, and your tolerance for the gray skies, well, reach out. Shoot me a DM, comment on this video. There's going to be a link in the description to book a free call with me too. Feel free to do that because there's never going to be any pressure. There's never going to be a sales pitch. And you're just going to continue to get the same honesty from me that you got in this video. So if this was helpful, hit subscribe because every week I'm going to post a new video on a new neighborhood with a new market and what it's actually like to live right here in Northeast Ohio. I'll see you on the next one.